Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka The Clockmaster. Welcome to one of these, what I want to call real talk reviews or raw reviews, man. Basically, man, I'm just going to be doing a recap and my thoughts, general thoughts on the episode of The Flash. I'm just letting you know the reason I'm calling it real talk and raw review. I didn't take any notes for this thing. I have no clue what I'm going to be saying in this video at this point in the video. I'm just going to be talking, and whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. I'm going to start recapping the episode for The Flash 4x9. Don't run. Now, before I get into that, guys, please make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. We are in the mid-season break right now, so make sure to subscribe for when we return back from our breaks in January. Okay, great, guys. Also, Stardust 2, all the description box stuff. Check it out. There's so many cool things down below there. Now, basically, I'm just going to go over how I felt about this episode. I thought this episode was really good. Probably one of the better Flash episodes. The first earlier episodes are like really slow and not getting to a lot of the points I wanted it to get to with the Flash is concerned, and a lot of things he wanted to do with this. A lot of them were mainly really filler episodes. And then right up until the point right before the crossovers began, that's when things started to pick up for the Flash for me. And then this episode really was the icing on the cake for that. Now, before I dive really into this video, I gotta let you know this is spoiler filled. This will have spoilers in this video. So if you're careful for spoilers, man, if you don't want any spoilers to this episode, please exit this video, then come back and listen to it, watch it, whatever I decide to do with this thing. But it will be filled with spoilers. Episode was filled with so many things. We got more insight on Amunet Black, some of her past, where she came from, her being a stewardess, I think it was on a plane, and then we got an insight of Dominic Lance. We got to see him, and we'll talk more about that later on. And then the Thinker and more of his plans, and we got to see some solo Barry action. We got to see some more elongated man stuff and a lot of other things, and then, you know, some cool fun little jits here and there. But then the ending, which was super crazy, Barry getting arrested, the trial of the Flash. Now, the only Flash trial that I know of, obviously the trial of the Flash, is when he got arrested in the comic books for the murder of the Reverse Flash. Now, this is slightly different, obviously, this time being the victim, not Reverse Flash. The victim is actually Clifford DeVoe's body, and he transferred his mind or his consciousness or his spirit or whatever to Dominic Lance, and which is now his new host, which is, I found, is really crazy. I did not see that ending coming. Now, a lot of people already knew ahead of time that the Thinker was going to try to switch bodies and stuff like that. I didn't really peep that earlier on. I wasn't really thinking along those lines of him maybe wanting to have that, but eventually, once I started to see the theories, I thought it was going to be Barry. He's going to try to acquire his body. But what's happening is going to happen this, and I saw a nice, comment on one of my videos yesterday, is on my reaction video to this, is that, and it's true, I just remembered about this too, the Thinker, the more he uses his brain, the body can't handle all of that energy. The body sucks up all of that energy, or his brain rather, sucks up the life out of the body, essentially. So this guy who we see here playing Dominic Lance here, we're not going to see him forever. That's just my thoughts. We're not going to see him forever. The Thinker's going to have to transfer his mind to another host eventually as time goes on. And that's what I'm thinking, because, initially, the reason why he had to transfer bodies in the first place was because his original body was deteriorating because of his mind and how powerful it is, and which is why he had to go in that chair. So because of that is why he switched. So if, at first his new body, his new host is going to be great, but eventually he's going to have to switch. And I think the end game is to get to Barry's body, because of course Barry's abilities as a speedster, him being able to regenerate a lot of things, his cells are accelerated at a really heightened level, things heal faster, so he wouldn't necessarily come down with the same illness that has been happening with the Thinker all this time. So I think the end goal is to get Barry, of course. But then what was crazy in this episode, and another cool thing that I loved in this episode, was just seeing some solo Barry action. Iris having to choose between saving Killer Frost and saving her new husband. You know what I'm saying? And she chose to go with that, and we got to see how Barry was able to figure out getting out of wherever the Thinker was holding him. And what was cool about that is that he didn't need Star Labs to help him. Now, there's a lot of people that may be upset with me for saying that, and I'm just saying it how it is. But for me, from what I know of Barry Allen in the comic book, Silver Age, pre-Crisis Barry, things like that, he's always been a solo man. He's always been pretty smart. Even Flash Rebirth by Jeff Johns, we get to see more. Barry's more of the solo type guy. I mean, Wally's more of an expert when it comes to certain things with the Speed Force, of course, and a lot of people are used to Wally. People would say that Wally's sometimes maybe even the best Flash out of all of them. That's all debatable. It's all opinions. But for me, seeing Barry able to figure that out, just a little thing, him, vibrating faster than the eye can see and getting out of that situation was reminding me exactly about the comic books that I know with Barry Allen and how he rolled and how smart he is. And I think that's what they're aiming for. I think eventually they're going to try to aim for Barry to get, to really increase his intelligence, to get to that point where he's like, okay, I'm now at the top of my game. I already got the speed stuff under control. Now I have to really work on my mind, work on my skills, and things like that. Now, talking about Amunet Black, like I said, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about it. Blacksmith, obviously, her comic book origins are a little bit different than how they did it in CW, which is not a surprise. They do that all the time in most of their characters to begin with. But we got to see more of her insight and why she became, or how she became who she is. And I think the actress posted something on her Twitter saying that she doesn't believe that Amunet it's totally evil. And I'm thinking the same way too. I don't think she's totally an evil person. I think she's more of just a person, like the actress said, a businesswoman, someone who's just trying to accomplish certain things and doing whatever she needs to do to get to it and to just live and to exist and to do whatever she has to do and defend herself and protect herself. Things like that, because she's, had different passes from different people while she was being a stewardess on, for the airlines or whatever. So I can see, her motives are understandable and it makes sense. Just the accent is horrible. I just don't like her accent. It doesn't sound like anything. It doesn't sound like a British accent, and they try to make her out to be British, but it doesn't sound like a British accent. It's just a nitpicky thing for me. It doesn't sound like a British accent. It just sounds like something. Now, there's not too many things I hated about this episode. I was really trying to think and see if there's anything I really hated about this episode, and there's not too many things I exactly particularly hated about this episode. But let's get into the nitty-gritty stuff about the main truths about this episode. So that ending was crazy. That ending was ridiculous. We got to see Barry getting accused, or getting, I guess, I don't know the right word, I don't know. Well, obviously he's going to be getting accused for the murder of Clifford DeVoe. But we see the decision he made towards the end there, which kind of confused me a bit. And that ending, I did not see that coming. I did not see them killing off the actor who played DeVoe from that and then switching into Dominic. For some reason, as I was watching, I was like, I don't know if I really trust this guy. Yeah, Brainstorm, and I know Dominic Lance in the comic books is not even really a good guy to begin with. So I already had a feeling that he wasn't going to be good, but I didn't know that it was going to be really the Thinker. And then the explanation for it, too, it made sense when we saw them explain how it all happened and how it all went down, and I thought it was done really, really, really well. And it was a good thing. I mean, I can tell the writers already planned a lot of this stuff out, and what's crazy about this is that you can never really, be certain about certain things about this show. You just gotta, especially with what's going on with the Thinker, you think you have one thing understood, and then just throws it back in your face like, no, you don't have this. It's not done. It's, it's still going on. And it was done really, really, really well. I'm interested to see what this new actor, I didn't get his name, this new actor, what he does with the Thinker. And one of the key things he said earlier on in this episode, as I rewatched it, he said is that the words, the words are still me. The words are the same. It's, even though the voice is different. So, it's like this new transition for his wife, and he's like, I'll do whatever it takes to be with you. The end game is still, bigger than all this, and we still don't know what the Thinker's plan is. We still don't know exactly what he's trying to accomplish here. The only thing that we knew is that he was trying to get a new host for his brain, so that way he could, continue to live on without an ailing body. Other than that, we still don't know what is going to happen. Now, there's a couple of theories going on around the place right now of the way that he's going to try to get Barry. Of course, all the metas are in Iron Heights, that he turned into metahumans, and obviously he wanted all of them to get arrested, and I believe he might either switch between their bodies, all of their bodies at some point. I don't know how that's going to play out, but eventually Barry is now in jail right where he wants him. And, well, he's not in jail yet, but obviously I think he's going to be there at some point for some time. And it's going to be this thing where he's right at the finger's disposal. He can get him anytime he needs to, whatever he wants. So that's just one of the big theories running around the place right now. How true that is, I have no clue. We'll just have to wait and see what happens when the show returns, or as we get more details leading up to when the season returns. Now, all in all, guys, I thought this episode was great. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I did enjoy it. The shock towards the end really got me. Just seeing Barry in this position. I mean, to me, they're doing a lot of things really fast, but of course we see one of the things that Barry talked about in episode 1 of the premiere. Your Honor, I'm innocent, I didn't kill this man, things like that. We all thought it had something to do with his father, but most people associated it to him, and eventually him having to say something about it, him being arrested. What I think we should do is just go back to that first episode and just listen to all the things that he's talking about, and then we can actually get to piece things together and maybe predict what's going to happen. But we already know how to defeat DeVoe. That's something we already know how to defeat him. Future Barry already told him how to defeat him. Emo Barry Savitar told him how to defeat him in a way. We already know that. I think it was the cerebral inhibitor. I think he said how this is the room where we created the cerebral inhibitor or something like that to defeat DeVoe. So we already know. We as the audience already know how they can defeat DeVoe. Will Barry remember that conversation he had with Savitar? Will that kind of click with him and be like, hey, Savitar said something about a cerebral inhibitor or whatever. Can we do this? Can we make one of those? Can we try to make one of those? Maybe try to stop him and destroy him for good? I don't think the Thinker will be completely destroyed for good, to be honest with you, because the fact that he can switch between bodies all the time, he can kill one body and never know if he's actually dead. It's just a crazy, crazy thing. The fact that he can just transfer his mind and everything to different bodies is just beyond me, man. So, anyway, that's all I got for this video, man. I got nothing else to really say. I couldn't really think of anything else that I could remember from the show. If I forgot something, let me know in the comment section down below. I tried my best to remember all the main important points of this episode. Like I said, if I forgot anything, let me know in the comment section down below. We can talk about it, or you can join me on Discord and we can have a conversation about it with everybody else on Discord, and we can go from there, man. That's it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, like I said, and I will see you guys next one. Clockmaster